Good morning, everyone, and happy World Card Making Day. I am here pretty much on time and ready to go. So hopefully you guys are going to start to join me and we are going to get started. So I'm just getting my iPad set up here so I can see people commenting. Good morning, Sandra. Oh, don't do that. I just turned comments off. We won't want that. Okay. I see there are a couple people on, so we are going to get started because we have 4 cards and a mini paper pumpkin box. Hello, Lynn Scott. And I don't want to keep you here all morning. So here's the deal. I appreciate that some of you are busy and you maybe can't stay for all of the projects. So as long as you have tuned in for a little bit, you've given me a hi and a hello, Alex, then I will still enter you into the draw to win the projects, okay? Because I understand that maybe not everyone can stay for the whole time. So we're gonna get started. First things first, these designs came out of a team meeting. So they were designed by Rhonda Wade from Stampin' with Rhonda, Creative Corner. Those are all of her sort of taglines. So these are not my designs. I have tweaked some of them a little bit. I don't have the stamp set that she had created these designs with. So we are modifying. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to put these together. And as long as we have time still within this, we'll do the draw. If not, I'll go on again after and do the draw. So all of these designs are based off of this beautiful autumn, what's it called? Gilded Autumn Specialty Design Series paper. It's gorgeous. So we're going to be working with that. We're going to be working with a bit of this brushed metallic cardstock and sort of rich fall colors. So we're using the Very Vanilla note cards. These, in order to put anything in the little mini paper pumpkin box, you need to use the note cards, okay? So we're just gonna sort of move along here. We're gonna get started. So I've done a few of the things in advance so that it doesn't take too long and you don't see me moving away to do a lot of big shotting. So this is a super simple design, and sometimes simple is enough, right? I kind of get a little bit crazy, and I asked you guys yesterday, you know, what do you like? Embellishments, gems, DSP, ribbon. So some of these are just a little bit simpler. So this is tone on tone. We're not going to have very much color in here, and I've already embossed this piece of paper with the Pines embossing folder. So it's a really beautiful folder, great for Christmas, but also great for so many other types of designs. So that's why I knew for sure I wanted to have it, because I knew I would continue to use it, whether it be for masculine cards or just sort of, you know, maybe sympathy cards, some of those cards where you want something, but it can't be too much. Hello, Kim. So, like I said, I've already embossed that. These note cards are 3.5 by 5 is their dimensions. So any layers, 3.5 by 5. Any of our layers then are going to be 3.25 by 4 3/4. So those standard card making take off 1/4 inch kind of situation. So this is already embossed. All we're going to do now is a simple greeting, and then these little cuties are just, you can see when I flip them over, they were cut out with the punches that go with this set, which I don't have. So like I said, when I do a team meeting, I get all of the things supplied for me and then I just make them. So these are just punched out of the DSP. Super cute. We are going to use this greeting, life is better with a friend like you. Now this strip of paper was supplied for me, and I know that it is like literally just the right width. We're going to stamp in early espresso. So we may be stamping this over again because it may not be, if I don't get this exactly right, it's not going to be the right, it's going to be off the paper. So I'm going to actually move this a little bit, and you're going to maybe see my head in here because I need to line this up perfectly, or we are going to be hooped. Let's hope it's straight. Oh, look at that. So we're straight, but we're actually off the bottom. I went too far down. So we're gonna flip it over because that is the beauty of Stampin' Up's cardstock. And I'm gonna try again. Okay, so not quite so close to the bottom. And this is why sometimes, oh, see, you totally got my head in there. Ha ha. It is better to do a new strip. Hello, Kristen. Okay, cancel that. Let's just do a whole new strip of paper that's a little bit thicker, and then I won't be, A, needing to put my hair in the frame, and B, this won't be such a problem. Okay. Yes, now we're talking. All right, recycle. Adapt, adapt, adapt. Right, my friends? How is everyone doing today? It is a gorgeous day. I'm super excited to get outside after this. I wasn't going to work out today because I've already worked out 5 days in a row, but I'm kind of feeling a bit energized. I think because I was a little bit nervous actually about doing this video, which I'm not normally ever nervous, but I think because I'm making so many projects that I don't want to keep anyone on here too long, I was a little bit like, ah! Yes. Ah! Okay, so let's see, let's add, so we're gonna pop this up off the card front with dimensionals and then just layer everything on top of that. So we need, hello, Debbie Freeman. We're gonna put them in each corner. When I do something big like this, I kind of do like that, and then I do like that. It's a lot of dimensionals. I appreciate that. Hello, Dorothy. But that's how I roll. Because I don't like a hollow. Don't be. So Cam, just because I can see you're saying that you've stopped off. So what I have said is I appreciate that maybe not everyone can stay and watch the whole thing. So as long as you've stopped in, you've watched for a little bit, you threw me a comment that let me know you were here, then I will still enter you into the draw. If you can't stay for the whole thing, I totally appreciate that. Okay, so then we're gonna take these little cuties and we're gonna hang them off the side over here and we're just gonna tie a bow. So what I've got here is just the hemp twine. I think it's still called hemp. The linen thread, that's what it's called. I've doubled it so that we're gonna get a thicker bow. So I am just going to, and I just picked a random length, and then we're just going to even that out. So I'm going to retie that because I need the one end. I always struggle with this. I want the one end to have a longer tail. Okay, this is going to be better. So I always have to figure out which end I need to make longer to start with. Okay, there we go. So by doubling up the twine, in case you're wondering why I'm doing that, it just gives you a bit of a fuller bow, right? Okay, so that is attached on there, and I'm going to kind of put it across like this, and I'm going to cut it so it's even with the edge. And we're going to go from there. Now I might pop this up as well, I think. So we're gonna throw some more dimensionals on here. I'm gonna go with 3. Okay. And then these little guys, I'm going to take out my silicone mat. So again, of course, this is one of the things that someone's gonna win in that prize of my favorite things. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of the seal. And by using the mat, the adhesive sticks to the mat. It doesn't stick to the paper I'm working on, my scrap piece. And I also often use my take a pick tool, which is also one of the things you could win. And then we're just going to put these guys on here. Comme ça. And then we're gonna need a glue dot. And we're good to go. I find the new glue dots, I don't know about anyone else, but the box I got recently, they seem a little bit bigger than they used to be. And then we're just gonna kind of put that on there like that. And voila, card number 1. So the idea behind this is that you would give this away. So I'm giving it away, the paper pumpkin box filled with the 4 note cards. And then the idea is that you would also give it away to someone who would appreciate a little gift of handmade cards. Okay, card number 1, done. So we could get creative, and I might still, I'm not gonna do it here though, but I have the ornamental envelope dies. And so I can take some DSP and I could make this fancy, or I could put a little liner. Problem is I don't have this autumn paper, so I would just have to line it with something else, but I might still do that. Okay, there is our first card. So we're gonna move on to card number 2. And I got a couple of tricks up my sleeve for this guy. All right, so this one I improvised a little bit. I've added an extra layer of the metallic cardstock because I thought it looked really pretty. And I just want to let you guys know that even though these note cards are pre-scored, sometimes they don't fold perfectly. So I always fold on the score line, and then if it's not perfect, I just recrease. It's usually just in one corner. Okay, perfect. There we go. So now we have this really pretty, so we could use that side, but we're gonna use this gorgeous side with these metallic bronze and gold leaves and acorns. So this is a piece of the metallic cardstock. So not the foil, the metallic cardstock. So I'm going to frame this out because I just think that makes it look so pretty. And then this guy's gonna go across the front. And then we're gonna have a greeting. We've got a beautiful, another one of these little leaves that was punched out for me. And then we're gonna do that double bow again. But I'm gonna show you my trick. So with foil, cardstock, glitter, any kind of paper that's specialty, you don't get as many in a pack and it's a little bit more money. You never want to waste, right? And waste isn't what we're doing, but you think, oh, this big piece, and all of that is just going behind and no one's going to see it. So what you can do is cut out the middle. So I know a lot of you know this trick. You'll punch something out or you'll do die cuts out of the middle, but I don't need this right now for anything else. So all I'm doing is I'm going to take my stitched rectangles, because they're the only dies that we have that are rectangles, even though they're stitched. And I'm just going to cut out the middle of this, and that way I will have this to use on another project, but I've still got all the edge that I need to frame out our current project, okay? So I'm going to run this through the Big Shot just off to the side, and when I do this, I sometimes use a magnetic plate just to ensure that it's not going to slip, because if it slips and I mess up my border, then now I don't have the paper that I need. And remembering when we put our rectangle dies through the Big Shot, or if you have the new machine, or if you plan to get the new machine, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, you want to put it through at an angle because it doesn't like the pressure of the die going through. So there we go. So we've cut this out. I'm going to use this piece later. Perfect. And I'm going to put my die aside so I don't lose it. And now we still have what we need here. Okay, so I'm going to bring out my silicone mat again, and I pretty much do all of my adhering on that. So you see, we still got a lovely border here. I'm going to get out my multi-purpose liquid glue. So I am now using both the glue and the Stampin' Seal. And depending on what I'm adhering in my project, I pretty much use them both equally. So I am going to take this piece of DSP, and that's the rule of thumb. You always put your adhesive on the smaller piece so that you don't end up with more than you need. And I'm just gonna go around the edges. We don't want to put any in the middle because we don't have a middle anymore to adhere it to. So until we want to put that actually on our card front, we don't want to do that. And then I'm going to flip it over. The other thing I love about this, the liquid glue, is you have a bit of wiggle room to move things around. Whereas sometimes once you put that seal down, you have got nowhere to go. So you can see I got a bit generous in this corner. So I'm just going to wipe that off. Good morning, Kathy. And go from there. Okay. So you can see that's fine though, because this isn't my paper. We're not going to use this. I am going to wipe this off though, because we're going to keep using this silicone sheet, but it's beautiful, right? It just wipes right off and we are good to go. So what we can do now is we're going to put this actually on our card front. So I'm just going to carry on. I'm going to put a bit more now of our glue on this outer piece. And when it's DSP, you can put a little bit in the middle. If it is a piece where I don't have a pattern and it's just a plain piece of cardstock or I'm going to stamp on it, I often won't put that liquid glue in the middle because I have found that depending on what color it is and the pattern you use with your glue, you might see it. All right. You do have to be careful with the glue that you don't get any on your fingers. That's the only other thing I find. So we are going to have this strip come across and we're going to do our greeting and we're going to do our little leaf. This strip, I'm going to just use some of the Stampin' Seal and I'm just going to put it at either end. You could put it all the way across. I just find you don't need to. So again, I get it. Supplies are expensive and we want to spend our money on more things versus less. And so maybe more means we get creative, right? Alrighty. I have chosen to use this greeting here. So grateful for someone like you in my life. What I like to do with the clear stamps is I use my grid paper to line them up. So I've taken this middle bunch of words and I've lined it up on the grid so that I know as long as I keep my block straight, that is straight. Doesn't always work, but that's my plan. Okay, we are going to use, I'm going to use Cajun Craze as my ink color. It's the closest that we have, I think, to these colors. Now I'm going to pull out my Pierce mat, which again is part of the prize that someone's going to win for all the people who were answering my questions all week, because it's just going to give us a really great crisp image when we're using a clear stamp. So I'm going to center this in this oval that's already been cut out for me with the layering oval dies. Pretty. And I could stamp both of these off. I always try to stamp them off and then put them aside. I'll clean them later, but at least if I've stamped them off, they're not loaded with ink. Close our ink pad. We are going to use this color again after. I have the ink for Cajun Craze, but I don't have the paper. And it's funny, I keep finding more and more that I should probably have the cardstock, because there are definitely projects when I would like to have it and I don't. We're going to pop this guy up with dimensionals. So for an oval, you can kind of do a couple of things. You can either do 3 straight across, or you can kind of do like I'm going to do here. Or you could use little ones. right? So that's gonna go there. So you can see how that kind of draws out that color. Very pretty. We've got our little leaf we're gonna put on there like that. And then we're gonna do another one of these double bows. Okay, so again, I've already cut the linen thread and I'm just going to tie a bow. And Bob's your uncle. We're gonna need our glue dot again. So these papers are gorgeous, and I don't know, I might consider buying them, although I feel like autumn's almost over, and I can't remember, I don't know if any of you guys can tell me off the top, I don't remember if these papers were on sale or not, if they're part of that DSP sale. So again, I'm gonna get a glue dot, I'm gonna put a tiny little bit of glue on this guy. And it is just gonna go off the edge there. Like that. Did I already stick these down? No. Take these off. Sometimes what you do, right? You put the thing on and then you forget that you didn't actually peel the backing off. Center. Does that look centered? And then I did not see them in the sale. Yeah, I didn't think they were. I know there were some of the holiday, some of the Christmas ones, so that's nice. And also some of the, super awesome ones from the annual catalog. And then we're just going to, because it keeps sticking to my finger, I'm gonna go like that. All right, so there we go. Card number 2, done. So clearly a lot of this prep has been done, and that's why we can be so quick, but I try to be quick in these videos anyway and not do all that cutting. So there is the second one. All right, we are chugging along here, 25 minutes. Okay, let's see. We've got 2 more cards and then the box. All right, card number 3. I'm going to get another block. And this time we're doing a thank you card. This stamp is, so all of these stamps, I can list that afterwards. I can list to you which stamp sets I used for the greetings. Some are country home, some are the, oh, here they are. I've got them all. We've got country home I used, peaceful moments, and then so sentimental. Those are the 3 stamp sets that I've taken all the greetings from. Alrighty, moving on. Okay, so again, we have our card base already done for us. And now we've got, again, some of this metallic cardstock. Or no, maybe this is the copper foil, actually. We've got some vanilla. And then we've got another one of these cute little die cuts in the copper, or the Cajun. So the other side of this card would be this, which is quite pretty, which I hadn't actually considered. So what do you guys think? Should we do a card that is that background? Or should we do a card that shows you all the fall foliage? So somebody is going to win this. So, weigh in. Type as fast as you can. In the meantime, we'll do the stamping while you guys are weighing in which background you want. So we are going to stamp the thank you in, I was going to stamp it in early espresso. But if people decide they would rather have this color, okay, I got to vote for the fall side, foliage. Okay, we're going with the foliage. All right, so we're going to stamp in early espresso. We're going to stamp thank you, and we're going to do it a little bit to the side so that we can put that leaf. like that. All right. Whoops. Close that up because we do not want to get ink on it. And then I'm going to put a little adhesive on here. And then plop that on there. Okay, so get out our mat again. So here's another example where if you didn't want to use all this crumb cake cardstock, you would cut the middle out. I'm not worried so much about crumb cake. You'll see there's going to be a card that's going to pop up on my blog today. It's going to pop up here, Instagram, my blog. And then there's a full blog post on it. And even though it was Whisper White, I did actually cut out the middle. And the reason I did that is mostly because I use a ton of Whisper White. And so I thought, why waste a huge bit of Whisper White when I could cut the middle out and have a rectangle to use for something else. So we're going to center that on here. And you know what might actually look lovely? And I might do this just for poops and giggles. Let's emboss this whole thing with the linen. So we're going to use the linen embossing folder. It's one of my faves for this effect, to emboss DSP. And it just gives us a bit of texture. So you're going to say to me, but you've already, hello Amy. It doesn't matter that we already have 2 layers, because you can put 2 pieces of cardstock through an embossing folder and it will do just fine. I do it all the time, especially when I'm prepping for classes. So I'm going to do a straight edge. I'm going to line this up so that it actually is going to be straight, and I can tell that it slipped. I'm just going to emboss this off to the side. So hang tight, and it just adds a little something, especially when we're keeping our designs so simple. It will just give us a nice little bit of something without too much. So you'll see, we've just got a little bit of texture to that. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm so glad we did that. It's just a really nice effect when you want to keep your card quick and simple by just layering some DSP on some cardstock. But I don't know if you can see now, we've just got a little bit of texture. It's just giving us that little bit of, you know, something, something. So again, we're going to take, so we've got you guys. I was just going to wrap the twine. Or do you want to draw in a bit of the mint and have a thicker piece of mint? So we could have a thicker piece of mint ribbon and then kind of a bit like that. Or we could do the twine. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a second to sort of let me know what you think. Which one, if you want the thick ribbon or, ooh, I see mint. I see a vote for mint. Twine. Oh, okay, we need one more vote because I got, oh, mint. Oh, that's the second one for mint. Sandra, you can't just vote twice. I need another somebody who hasn't already voted. I've got now I got a second one for twine. Oh, we lose out on the mint. Sorry, Sandra. I liked the mint too, to be honest. I suppose it's my card. I could do whatever I want. Well, you know what? We'll tie the twine, because the twine we don't have to attach with any adhesive. And if we decide we don't like the twine, we can add the mint. You didn't mean to vote twice. I know, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I find sometimes Facebook does that, right? You comment, you do something, the next thing you know, your comment's there like 3 times, and you're like, yeah, I didn't hit enter 3 times. Or it's not there at all. the other thing I've started doing, I don't know about you guys, because you know how you can't, it just runs together. It's like one giant run-on sentence with Facebook now if you want to type something like with more than a few words. So now I've started typing it in like an email or on a Word document or something first. And then I copy and paste. All right, so there we go. You know what? I think that actually looks pretty good. So we're gonna pop that guy up with dimensionals. And this guy, we're gonna just place down with adhesive. I'm gonna move my bow just a tiny bit to the left. So if you just curve your cardstock, you can move it without tearing it. I'm also gonna move it up just a little bit. Okay, so because I have the twine on here, I'm gonna use the seal this time instead of the glue. Just because I find with this layer of thickness, I just know then that it's going to stay stuck. And what I often do when I have twine or ribbon in the middle, I put another little bit across the center. All right. We're going to take our card and we're going to adhere that down. Comme ça. I think whoever wins this, you're going to be really pleased that we embossed this. You're going to like the look of that. I really like the look of that. All right. We are going to put the foil and we're going to put this. So we're going to attach these two first and then add this whole thing with dimensionals. So I'm actually just going to put a strip of the seal. And we're going to line this guy up. Like that. And then what I'm going to do on this one, I'm going to use the mini dimensionals, because we're going on either side of the twine. And it will just lay nicer if the twine is not part of where our dimensionals are. This may or may not work. So you can do this one of two ways. You can put the dimensionals right on this piece like I'm doing. The other option is you could put the dimensionals right on your card front on either side of the twine, and then you would know that you were going to be on either side of it. I'm pretty certain we're going to be fine because this piece is quite thick. But if it were a thinner piece, you might want. And then we're just going to come and pop that in there. Like that. Oh, that's cute. Okay, that is card number 3. All right. We are plugging along, folks. 10:36. All right, we're like 10 minutes card so far. Moving on to card number 4. Okay, I did take some creative license in this design especially. So this one is probably mostly mine. I think I almost changed everything that the card called for. Oh, I totally did. Okay, so this you can pretty much call a Jillian Long original. Oh geez, the doorbell. Well, I'm just not home right now, people. So hopefully none of you are at my door. Is someone coming to my door expecting me to be there? Oh dear. Oh, I bet you it's somebody for Nate. I bet you it's the little friend coming for my son. Okay, this card was meant to be with this piece of DSP, and it had this thing across it, and it's the stamp and some little images, but I didn't get the images in my package. So, and I just was like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I thought this side of the paper was so much prettier. So we have mint and copper. So I framed it out with a piece of mint cardstock. And we could emboss that as well. I wasn't planning on it, and you'll see why. I'm going to refold this again. It's all in that same corner. Okay, so we are going to do mint. We're going to do that. And then we are going to do this strip of cardstock that I'm going to emboss. And then I have taken these pieces. Now this is from this beautiful gold, what's it called? It's the gold, Forever Gold Specialty Design Series paper. And this is paired up in the catalog with the fern, Forever Fern. But if you turn it over, it is white on the other side. And because we don't want gold, we want copper. We don't have copper ink anymore. We had some last year, but it is no longer with us. We are going to sponge on the back side of these, and the closest I think that I have is the cinnamon cider. So you can do this in one of two ways. You can actually just take ink right off the ink pad, or you can, you know, squish your ink and get a bunch of ink into the lid. Okay, so we're just going to take this, and if it's too dark, oh my gosh, they're still ringing the doorbell, you guys. And then we're just gonna sponge over top of this. I totally apologize, but I feel like nobody is home right now but me, that I need to go answer the door. I cannot believe this, but I'm going to be back in like 1 second. I'm back. Sorry. It was Amazon. I feel like it was probably first my son's friend, and then now it was the second time it was Amazon. Okay, so we're sponging this, and then I think it's going to give us, yes, a very sort of pretty coppery look. What do you guys think? Does that look pretty close? I think what we could also do is a little bit of Wink of Stella to give it a bit of sparkle. So you got to be careful. I'm going to get this all over my fingers, right? Okay, there's that one. That one. So this is the beauty of this paper, you guys. If you grab it, one side is gold, one side is white, and then you can make it be whatever color you want. And if you don't have these little sponge daubers, you could use the other sponges. If you've got these guys, they would work. Or makeup brushes, makeup sponges. Okay. So we are going to put that away. So what I want to do now for this is just going to be a strip on the edge. So I thought I wanted to emboss it. So you can see I'm getting a little bit creative. So these are these new thinner embossing folders, and the reason they're smaller, narrower is the word I should use, not thinner, is because when the new mini cut and emboss machine comes out, you'll be able to put these ones through the mini. So by me putting this piece of paper on an angle, I can get sort of embossed on both sides because it's not long enough otherwise. Because my plan is to then lay these guys sort of down here. So it doesn't matter that the whole thing is not embossed. So we're going to give this a swirl. We're going to give this a swirl. We're going to give it a whirl. So I'm going to run it through my embossing, my Big Shot, at an angle. All right. And now you can see that we have embossed images at both ends, and I'm actually going to have it go like that. Okay, So my plan with this card was, I think actually we're going to go like that. So we're going to put that right out at the edge. And then we're going to put this out at the edge this way. And then my plan was to have these beautiful bits like that, and to take some of this gorgeous copper, so we could, and tie a bow with this beautiful copper metallic. And this is part of this basket weave combo. You get the mint and you get this copper, what's it called? Yeah, basket weave and metallic ribbon combo. So obviously this goes with this paper. I did not buy the paper, like I said, but before this catalog came out, I was doing a lot of projects in mint. And so the other mint ribbon retired. So yeah, I was thinking we would do something like that. So what do you guys think? Yay? That look nice? And then I kind of thought I would leave this one without a greeting, because I can't really, sometimes adding a greeting I find just sort of takes away from the front of your card. And you'll notice that on the card that you're going to see on my blog that I'm going to post up here once we're done. There's no greeting on the outside. I put a greeting on the inside. This one I think I'm actually going to leave with no greeting at all, and that gives everybody the freedom to kind of turn it into whatever card you need it to be. So maybe it's a sympathy card, maybe it's a birthday card, maybe it's a thinking of you, maybe it's a who knows. Okay, so now we're going to take it all apart and put it together. And that is pretty much my card making process for anyone who may have wondered, like, you know, how do I do it? What's my thought process? I pretty much kind of lay it out like that, and then I take it apart and then I put it back together. And I will often take a picture, especially if I'm trying to decide about, like, do I want this embellishment here or do I want this there? I'll do a couple of choices. I'll take a picture for myself and then I will decide. Sometimes I will walk away from it and come back later. Or lots of times I do quick designing right before I go to bed, and then I don't put anything together, and then I come back down in the morning and then see if I like what I came up with, make changes. So yeah, that's kind of how my brain works. So we're going to do that, and then I had that like this, correct? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to place this on here first, and I'm going to place it right over to the edge, and I can do that because everything here is well, I can do it just because I want to, and then everything's lined up just the way I like it. So that's just how it goes. All right, so we're going to do this again. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for hanging in there, sticking with me. And then we will quickly, I won't actually fold out the paper pumpkin box, but I'll just show you what we're going to do on the front of it. And then we'll do the draw. You should have seen me this morning. I'm like cutting out little scraps of paper and scribbling names. Some people had a lot of entries. Kristen she got a lot of the questions, the 5-point questions right. So she had like, I don't know, 15 entries or something ridiculous. You can see I made my note here for myself. Emboss. Good thing I did this on the right side then, or I would have That's some erasing to do. All right, so we're gonna put that down. And then we're gonna put on these guys. So what I am going to do is kind of lay out. Now this is going to get a bit tricky, but I think what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put a little dimensional, and I'm gonna put them all attached on this dimensional. And then because I'm gonna put that bow, you're not gonna see the dimensional. So I'm gonna sort of lay this here. I guess I'm gonna have to actually stick it down, otherwise it's gonna be moving all over the page. I'm going to lay that down. And then we are going to put these on. Make sure they're sticking, otherwise my whole plan is not going to work. Okay. And then I probably don't even need a glue dot because I can just use the rest of the dimensional. Voila, to stick that on. Whew, clever. All right, what do you guys think? Did we do good? Did we like that one? I think it's pretty. And then whoever wins it, if you want, you could always add some Wink of Stella to those pieces that I stamped, sponged with the cinnamon cider. I don't want to mess around with them, so I'm going to leave them for now. Okay, so there is our fourth card. Okay, and now I'm just going to quickly bring out the front of our paper pumpkin box. So these mini paper pumpkin boxes are super cute. They literally are a paper pumpkin box. Just gonna plug in my phone because I'm getting the low battery symbol. There we go. Okay, they're just like, if you get paper pumpkin, they're just a tiny little paper pumpkin box. But I'm going to leave it flat because if you're not local to me and I have to mail this to the winner, then I have to be able to stick it back in an envelope. So this we are going to stamp with "Your friendship is a blessing." And we are going to stamp that in the Cajun Craze. Just gonna find where I put it. Here it is. And we're just using more of this gorgeous paper. And so we've got a bunch of these die cuts. These are these layering die cuts that were in the catalog, the other annual catalog with the poppies. Oh, the mini that carried over. And then this is another one of these bigger pieces. So I'm gonna layer all three of these. I'm going to stamp without getting it all over my fingers, although I did, in the Cajun. And now I'm nervous because I have ink all over my fingers, and we're gonna go to vanilla. So just let's try to make sure we get that off. Oh my God, it's everywhere. All right. And we're gonna line this up. Beautiful. Beautiful, if I don't say so myself. And then you can see what's gonna happen here. We're going to layer, this is gonna be the front of your box, the top, pardon me, the lid. And then I'm gonna layer all of these like this. Okay, so I'm actually not going to take the time to adhere that because we're already at close to an hour, and I know that you guys were at 49 minutes. Probably have things you would love to be doing, but that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so there is the front of the paper pumpkin box, and then let's just bring around the 4 cards we made again. So we have this card, we have this card, and we have this card, And we have this one. So this is a beautiful set that you could give to someone just because, just to say like, hey, you're special to me. Here's a little gift of some note cards. You could save it for Christmas. Maybe you have kiddos in school. You could give it, although it's very autumn themed, so maybe seems weird to save it till Christmas, but there we have it. So what I'm gonna do after, I'm not gonna do it as part of this video because I'm gonna go through and take note of everyone who was watching, who commented, and then I'm gonna do a separate draw. I'll put your guys' name in the draw, so it's nice. I can see you're all local to me, so that's awesome. And then I will draw, and one of you will win this, okay? But while we still have everyone on, I am going to, so you can see, we have a bowl full of tags, names. So this was from the contest all week, okay? So one person is going to win a $25 voucher to place an order with me. You need to use that in the month of October, okay? And the other person is going to win my little tools kit. They're still coming in. I ordered them. They won't be here till Monday. So it's going to be the silicone mat, the pierce mat, the take a pick tool, wink of Stella, and half of a chamois. Okay? So I feel like, and I'd love to hear from you guys who are on. To me, the grand prize is the collection of items, because I think they were valued at close to $50. And then the like runner-up prize would be the $25 gift voucher. So would you guys agree? I'll draw first for the $25 and then second for the actual package as the grand prize. What do you guys think? If you could just shout out a comment, that would be awesome. Sounds good. Okay. All right. So I'm not looking, I can't see. Let's keep them all in the bowl and move these guys out of the way. Yep, Amy agrees. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is for $25 shopping. I've got a single name here. Okay. Lori M. Lori Meyer, you have won the $25 shopping voucher, so I will get in touch with you. You have until the end of this month to spend it. Okay, so here is the draw now for the gifts, the package, the toolkit, my go-to crafting items. I gotta stop throwing things off the table. Okay. There's so many things here. Carrie Higgins, you have won the grand prize, my little package of go-to crafting items. So I will reach out to you. Like I said, I don't have them all yet, but I should have them by the end of day Monday, hopefully, and I'll put those together for you. So I really want to thank everyone for tuning in this morning. You've given up an hour of your Saturday, and I love that. And I also want to thank everyone for commenting all week. I had a lot of fun seeing what people chose, and I thought it was fun to sort of send you running through your catalogs to answer those questions. So I had a lot of fun with that. I hope you guys did too. Don't forget the paper sale. I'm going to throw up a new card on the blog today. I will throw up a picture of all of this as well. And like I said, I will do the draw for that. So I'm going to finish the front of the box. I'm going to assemble it together. I'll take a picture and then I'll do a little spin the wheel of everyone who watched, and I will draw that today, and then I will reach out to you. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. I just really want you to know that I totally value you as friends, as customers, as contributors, your creative input. It really is what makes me keep doing this, because let me tell you, with COVID, there's been a few times I've wondered if it's sort of worth all the chaos it's causing. So go out and enjoy this beautiful day. Have a great Saturday, and we'll chat soon. Bye, everyone.